Isn't Disney World just a people trap that's operated by a mouse? Hmm? Hey, I'm Robert. Welcome to my home studio. I hope you enjoyed the track that you just heard. That was all recorded with the Bogner Ecstasy Blue distortion pedal. Not real fair to call this thing a distortion pedal, to be honest with you. It's really more of a preamp than it is a distortion pedal, but it also functions pretty darn well as a distortion pedal, which is how you just heard it. There is a ton, and I mean a ton of features on this thing. And why don't we just cut out the stupid chit chat and jump down into twisty knobby mode and check out the range of this thing, shall we? That was a rather long twisty knobby mode because there's a lot of knobs to twist on this thing. Essentially a 2-channel distortion pedal, you know, 1 channel with a boost, or 2-channel, however you want to look at it, with a shared EQ. You know, there's a number of different ways you could look at it, but I prefer to look at it as a 2-channel distortion pedal with a shared EQ. At least that's how I operated it there in that opening track at the beginning of the video. Like I said, there's a ton of cool features on this thing, man. I mean, it's a circuit from the from the Blue channel, the Bogner Ecstasy. That's what it is. You know, that's where its name comes from. You know, of course, you got your regular old 3-band EQ on there, like you do with a lot of distortion pedals, as well as a volume and gain control. You also can set the level of either volume and or gain that is boosted when you engage the boost mode. And of course, you also have these 5 little handy dandy mini toggle switches. This one here for Variac. The second one here is the mode switch, so you can go back and forth between Plexi mode and Blue mode, which is, again, you know, Blue being the Blue channel in the Bogner Ecstasy. The Plexi mode, of course, is, you know, essentially, you know, it's a old Marshall Plexi type of tone. There is a pre-EQ switch on there, so you've got a couple of different EQ options if you're using this as a preamp. Pretty handy. Doesn't really seem to do a whole lot when you're using it as a distortion pedal going into the front end of an amp, but you know, going into an effects loop, it actually does a fair amount. And then of course the structure, which kind of seems to be various different versions of EQ / treble boost, is how I heard it. You know, of course, you know, your standard mono input and output. There's also another remote, so you can plug an external foot switch into it and control it that way. And of course, your standard 9-volt power input. Bogner have recently discontinued this pedal, well, recently within the last couple of years, I think, anyway. At least that's my understanding. And replaced it with what is now known as the Bogner Ecstasy Blue Mini. So it's the same pedal, it's just a little bit smaller. It's not really a miniature-sized pedal, but it's miniature compared to this thing, because this one was pretty big. You know, there was originally 3 of these pedals that came out when they were first launched back in 2010, 11, 12, something like that, whatever it was that it came out. And you know, they were $2.99 a piece. These things were expensive. You had this one, you had the Ecstasy Red, and then there was an Uberschall pedal out there as well. The Uberschall was actually my favorite, but I liked the Ecstasy pedals as well. And they've since added a Lagrange and a couple of others along the way. Like I said, these things were $2.99 when they first came out. They were not cheap. I got lucky, and Musician's Friend was actually running a stupid deal of the day, selling these things for like $149, and basically it was half the price of what the full price on these things used to sell for. I don't remember the last time I didn't see one that was that cheap that wasn't just totally completely beat up. So, you know, it was a deal I knew I was never going to see again, so I jumped on it. And that is how this thing came to be. You know, I've heard these tons of times, but I've never actually owned one. And now I see why they're so popular. You know, they do sound absolutely killer. I'm kind of curious to be able to A/B this thing with the new version of the Ecstasy Blue and see how much difference there is. My understanding is they're actually really, really close. I will tell you that I have, you know, I didn't run this thing as a preamp, like into the effects loop, because I don't have a Bogner Ecstasy head on hand to be able to show you the difference. But I have actually had the chance to run one of these into the into the effects loop of a Bogner Ecstasy head before, and A/B it with the actual Blue channel on the head, and they're not identical, but they are awfully close. I mean, they're really, really close. So, you know, what's a Bogner Ecstasy run nowadays? $3,000 or so versus $300. Probably another reason why these are so popular. These are still available in a few places, I do believe. I will post links down in the description where you yourself can go check out the Bogner Ecstasy Blue distortion pedal yourself, should you choose to do so. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that happy good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Adios.